Hey, it's Katrina Sawa here, the Jumpstart Your Biz coach with jumpstartyourbiznow.com and jumpstartpublishing.net, my book publishing company. Today, I want to talk a little bit about audiobooks because we just had a call. I do a monthly author brainstorming power hour on the fourth Thursday of every month. It's free. For now, at least. It's free. It's at noon Pacific. You can sign up at jumpstartpublishing.net if you would like to come and brainstorm the ideas for your book. If you want to ask questions about the publishing process, that's fine. So we had our call today, and one of the big topics was audiobooks. And a couple of the people, myself included, and another client of mine actually have done audiobooks through Amazon AI. And so it's kind of controversial, right? Like, do we use AI? Do we use, and I come from the thought process. My husband actually used to be a voiceover artist. So he would get paid to record audio, read someone's book and record it, and then do the editing and then put it up on Audible. And it takes a lot of work for someone to do that. He was trained professionally to do that. He actually did it after having throat cancer, and he has an amazing voice, and he does all these different kind of variations for characters and stuff. So he loved doing fiction books, but he also did some others. Anyways, the point is like the amount of time it takes, like if you really want to not get paid like $10 an hour for your time, I mean, you got to charge almost like $3,000 for a book for audio, if not more, right? Because it takes so much time to re-record and get all the sound out and everything. And it's just so, it's costly and it's a little cost prohibitive to us as authors, right? I have a lot of books and I don't want to spend that on that, especially when audiobooks are free with a unlimited purchase on Amazon, right? Or the Audible, people have I don't know how much their monthly, I don't subscribe to it, but maybe it's $10 a month, maybe it's $12 a month. So I know my books are going to be there. I'm like, people are going to get access to it. So unless I can get, 10 or 20 bucks per audio, which is probably unlikely, I can't even see spending 3,000. That's what most people say. That's what they tell me, right? Until you think about, okay, well, if somebody hears your book or reads your book, right, one way or the other, then decides to hire you, then you can make thousands and thousands of dollars depending on what you're selling. So just like any other type of way you sell your book, whether it's paperback, hardback, ebook, now audio, you got to have a plan, right? You got to have a plan on what your goal is with your book. And do you want to be the next, Stephen King writing your fiction or a children book author with multiple children's books? Or do you want to be the next best-selling nonfiction, inspirational guru with books? Or do you want to just use your books for as marketing tools to grow your business? So we were talking about that because one of the gals who was on the call is a book mentor. So she helps people write their story. And she has a hard time sometimes convincing someone that they really need to write a book because they maybe aren't so savvy in their business. So, there's lots to think about when it comes to writing a book, right? And it is so important to think about all of this stuff before you write it. Because once you write it, you want to get it published. Whether you want to publish the paperback or the ebook or the audiobook or all three, it's a good investment, right? So, I mean, you're going to invest a few $1,000s, if not a lot more, depending on who you go to. And so you do want to make sure that you have an easy path, a customer journey from someone who reads to someone who goes to your website and perhaps gets on your email and buys other things. And so it's just something to think about. But audiobooks, right? I would love to know if I know that people ask me all the time for the audiobook of especially this book, my Love Yourself Successful book, but I haven't recorded it yet. And I don't want to do AI for this one because I feel like it needs to be my voice because it's my mannerisms and my, humor inside the book. And so that's the one book that I haven't done in AI because I don't want some British, female author reading it, or even I don't know. I'm debating on it though, like, right. But I do have some resources if you're interested in getting an audiobook done, not with AI, which is free on Amazon, and you want it done professionally yourself, or you want to pay someone who's professionally trained to do audiobooks, because they won't accept your book if it's just kind of done really messily and it's not professionally done. They're not going to accept your book on Audible. So you can't just put any audio up there. That doesn't get accepted, by the way. Maybe it'll work on your website, but to do an audiobook and especially an ebook, you want to have the professional format and you want it done because the people, you got to think of the readers, right? Or the listeners, and they listen, if they're an audiobook reader, they listen to them all the time. And so if I've heard people say that, I can't listen to that book on audio because I don't like the voice. I've heard that. And I've heard of people say, I do like the voice on this book and I'll read anything that author or listen to anything that author puts out on audio, right? So you have to really do it for the reader if you are going to go to that extent. But I've got voiceover artists I can refer. I know a few production studios here in Northern California. If you're in another city, that's what you would want to look for, a production studio. A lot of them do voice where you can go into a room, a really soundproof room, and record and talk through your book. And then if you need to find an editor, my husband has resources too for that. He doesn't necessarily do the recordings anymore, but yeah, just something to think about. Audiobook. I would love to know how many of you prefer audiobooks over reading. What's your mode? Is it ebook, paper book, or audiobook? What's your favorite? Put it in the comments. Okay. I hope that's helpful. Come to an author call though. Seriously, I would love to just talk through, find out what you're writing, and see if or how I can give you suggestions or not. We came up with someone's book title today. She was thinking about one title, and I'm like, well, none of us really liked the title. And we workshopped it a little bit and came out with something even better. So she's all excited now. All right. Talk to you soon.